Good morning, Minnesota Twins fans. My name is Seth Stoes from Twins Daily, and we're back today with another Twins Spotlight. Of course, you'll notice that I didn't change the date. That is November 4th. You don't have to go through Election Day today again tomorrow because that was yesterday. But it is November 4th. We're in another November Twins Spotlight. This week, or this episode, we'll have Twins infielder Travis Blankenhorn. Obviously, a big year for him, was added to the 40-man roster, and this year got a chance to be at the alternate site, and then made his major league debut for a game. So we'll get a chance to get to know him. We're gonna bring him in here real quick. Travis, how are you today? And can you hear me?
Yeah, I could.
Okay. Well, hopefully this works and my internet connection remains stable. But Travis, everything good today?
All good. Hope you're doing well too.
All right. Well, again, we want to welcome comments, whether you're watching on Twins Daily Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Please feel free to send some questions, some comments. We'll ask them throughout the show. But we're going to start by kind of throwing a little questionnaire at Travis, and we're going to talk about his hometown of Pottsville, PA, Pennsylvania. This was the picture from Wikipedia, so is this a fair representation of your town?
That's fair.
You got the mountains. You're not too far from Philadelphia. I hope I'm not keeping you from counting votes in Philadelphia here this morning.
We're back. Good. Yep.
Everyone, you made the comment. Everyone asks about Yuengling. That comes from your town. Is that the big? I guess business in the area, or are there other things that people should know about?
So are you cutting in now? I kind of lost you for a minute, but I assume you're talking about Yuengling. But yeah, that's kind of what Pottsville is known for. It's kind of the big thing in Pottsville.
Are there other businesses in town?
I mean, if you're coming to Pottsville, I mean that's it. That's what most people are coming for.
So I won't ask you if how Yuengling compares to Garv sauce. That would probably be wrong. But we've talked before about you being a three-sport athlete in high school. Martz Hall, that's impressive. You played a lot of basketball there. I know that basketball was a sport you love and still love. Talk a little bit about the experience and the history of this facility.
I mean, as you can see from the picture, I mean, it has to be one of the best high school gyms in the country, I would say. I mean, I don't know what number it would be, but it has to be up there. I mean, just experiencing that from high school, it's just like a lot of people don't get to. You don't get to a league finals and get 5,000 to 6,000 people in a high school gym. So, I mean, experiencing that was definitely awesome. I mean, we got to play every game there. It wasn't always packed like that, but if we were in a championship game, as you can see from that picture, that's about how it was.
It's unbelievable. And I know there's just in reading about it, Kobe Bryant and a lot of other NBA players have played in that facility. All right.
Yeah, Kobe was there once. Yep.
Now I looked, and I think Pottsville, the other guy who's played in the big leagues is Chris Knobholz, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but I do remember collecting those cards. Is he still around town, or is he kind of the legend in town at this point?
Yeah, I know Chris well. I actually worked out with his son before and all, and I know his family very well. I guess his nephew was one of my best friends. So growing up, I played travel ball with him all the time. So I mean, yeah, we know the Knobholz family pretty well.
All right. Well, let's bring it back to just normal here again, and thanks for letting me do some of that. And again, welcome any questions, comments. But let's start with the big stuff. We talked last year before the 40-man roster. You were added to the 40-man roster, which obviously meant an opportunity for big league spring training. So before talking about the issues with spring training and the season this year, just what was it like for you to go to big league camp as a roster member this year?
Well, I mean, the year before, I didn't really get to experience going there. I just got to experience maybe a game or two when they sent me over just to come in on the back half of a game. So, I mean, just getting there and actually actually started a couple games, getting that experience was definitely good to get used to playing with the guys and all that.
For sure. So, take us through. You did play quite a bit, especially early in spring training. You played mostly second base, which is where you played a lot last year. You played some third base. You played all over the field, really. Talk a little bit about your defensive, I guess, journey. You started as a shortstop when you were drafted, moved to third right away, did some second, did some outfield, and I know that's important for you too.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I'm just trying to be the most versatile player I can be, and wherever coach needs to put me in the game is I want to be able to go play wherever he tells me. So, I mean, just being able to do whatever I'm told, I think is just going to be big for me. And like I said, just trying to get in the lineup every day.
Absolutely. So, again, take us through spring training. And I was there a week before things kind of started shutting down. But I think the first thing was probably you were told not to do autographs, and then the media couldn't be in there.
Yeah.
And then you started getting time off. What was that progression in your perspective, having really never been through a camp before? And this is the most unusual of camps.
For sure. I mean, it started off pretty normal until things started hitting the fan, and then obviously we started not coming in a day. But I mean, I thought it was good. I think it was still a good experience. I think I got a lot of time still to see how things would be going on that side. I mean, we got to go to the Dominican. That was an awesome trip and a great experience for me. But yeah, then once things started to hit the fan and we didn't know if we were going to stay, go home, if we were going to have a season or not, then the uncertainties started to definitely flow in.
So talk a little bit about, once you were sent home, you still didn't know how long you'd be gone. So what was kind of your routine as the summer progressed? And I mean, I don't think it was until late June that you kind of had an idea of when you would go back to camp, but there's 3 months there of was there open communication with the team, or were you kind of on your own?
I think there was a lot of uncertainties. I don't think any of us really knew what was going to happen. So, I mean, I was fortunate enough to have a trainer that let me take a bunch of his weights and all that kind of stuff to my house. So, I mean, it was more or less, I think I was working out at home a lot, trying to get my work in at home and stay safe.
Real quickly, a reminder, people can send in questions or comments for Travis. So we'll get through a couple of those right now. Brenda says hi.
She's my next door
So,
neighbor. She's my
she's just
aunt and my next
watching.
door neighbor.
Okay. And then Josie says hi, which of course that's my kid. So she's just in the next room, supposed to be doing homework, but we'll see how that's going. So she's chuckling in the background. So again, people, feel free, whether you're watching on Twins Daily, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, send in questions, comments, whatever you got. We're happy to answer them. I mean, there were Zoom calls the whole time. Were there a lot of Zoom call or that type of meetings with positions or with the coaching staff or just as an organization? I mean, without telling us the inside information necessarily, but was there pretty frequent contact?
Yeah, they're definitely in touch with us, checking in on us. I mean, we had a couple Zoom calls, a couple meetings about it all. We had a couple hitting Zooms, just trying to stay fresh and trying to go over our plans, see how it's going, and just making sure we're getting our work in. Sorry, Seth, I lost you for a second.
Nope, I didn't unmute it. So um,
Oh,
that was my bad. You get to summer camp, and it's kind of a weird atmosphere with the testing, every couple days or a couple times a week. Was there a lot of almost outside stress as opposed to even the baseball side of things when you reported?
when I first reported, you mean?
Yep.
Um, no, I mean, I think it started off like a normal spring training would. But like I said, and then they started saying about the autographs and all, then stuff really got unsure, and that's when we got sent home. And that, I mean, that's when we were unsure too. We didn't know if we wanted to stay, if it was only going to be a week or two thing, or what. So then we ultimately made a decision that everyone was going to go home.
But then when you went to summer camp at
Oh,
Target
okay. So I'm
Field
having a hard time hearing you.
in July,
Okay.
I mean, that had to be a little different, just going through all the procedures and protocols. That's annoying, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, we just, the classic temperature check, all that kind of stuff, spit tests, just making sure we're all healthy. But once we got on the field, I mean, I think things kind of went back to normal a little once we got through all that and once we were on the field and competing.
So yes, I saw you played like in some of the scrimmages a lot at third base with Donaldson not there, or Kirilov was playing some first base because Sano was still out. But third base, you made a few diving plays in those intra-squad games. Um, Again, I want to mention that just that value of Marwin Gonzalez is a free agent. A-Ray Adrians is a free agent. There's a utility spot or two available. So as you're looking to the offseason, what's kind of on your mind, and how do you feel like you can best help the team going forward?
Like I said, I'm just gonna keep putting my work in, controlling what I can control, and working at all the positions just so I can be an asset to the team. And if I ever need to be put anywhere on the field, I'm ready that I can do it.
I should apologize to everyone. I think I am having some internet issues here, and hopefully it's listened toable on my end. But I can hear Travis well, so hopefully everyone else can as well. That's what's important. Let's talk about the taxi squad. You had been on the taxi squad once, and then you headed for the taxi squad. You got the call. Just remind us the story of how you found out that you were being moved from the taxi squad to the active squad.
Say it again. Sorry, I lost you for a second.
Just remind us of the story of how you found out that you were going from the taxi squad and practicing
Okay.
to being on the
Yeah.
active roster.
Well, I mean, I was just going about the normal day. We had infield BP, all that kind of stuff, and I was actually out in the outfield just shagging, and that's when Coach Mike Bell came up to me and was like, "Hey, Rocco needs to see you," and I ran into Rocco, and that's when he told me the news.
So I thought it was a funny story when you said that you had a few phone calls to make, but had to make them pretty quick.
Yeah, I was up in my BP group was up in a little like 5 minutes. So I went in and made the phone calls real quick, and definitely just in case I was gonna get in that game that night, I wanted to be prepared. I want to get some swings in.
And then you saw the lineup. You're batting seventh, playing second base. I mean, was it adrenaline, or at some point did you kind of calm things down a little bit?
Definitely when you see it for the first time, it's definitely like, this is it. I mean, I just kind of put my phone away, didn't want any of the distractions and all that kind of stuff, and just tried to lock in and get ready for the game.
So we had Whitefield on Saturday, and he made the comment that when he went up for his at bat, Edgar Varela told him, make sure you just take a second to hear your name called out. Were you getting advice for that first at bat? And do you remember walking to the plate? Were your legs shot, or were
Uh,
you feeling pretty good?
I was feeling fine because I got to go out in the field first, but definitely an experience that I won't forget. Just hearing your name, like you said, even though there wasn't people in the stands, it don't matter. Just hearing your name that first time was definitely a great moment that I won't forget.
And then I know you got to show off the hair, and now you've had a
No more
haircut.
though.
I know what's up with that. You got big
Cleaned it
things
up for the
coming.
wedding.
Yeah. Um, you got the double, and I can't. I mean, I think you probably knew that you guys were coming back, in a couple of days, so it might just be short-lived. So was it important? I mean, how good did it feel to get that double in that last at bat?
Definitely felt good. Definitely, I'm pretty sure I had two strikes on me too. I mean, it all went pretty fast once it happened, but definitely a relief to get the first one out of the way. I've heard multiple people say the first one's the hardest, so definitely getting out of the way, that was nice. But when I hit it, I actually didn't know if he was going to catch it or not. I was kind of like, oh boy, it's going to be close. But when it dropped, it was definitely a good feeling. Even though we were losing, I know that, but definitely a good feeling.
So you got the ball. Did you bring it home? Did any stories? Do you got it up on a mantle already?
Yeah. Uh, I'm actually getting like a case made with the lineup card and the ball.
That'll be fantastic. All right. Again, a reminder, if anyone's got questions, we'll be on with Travis here for about another, 8, 10, 12 minutes, whatever we've got, especially if we get some questions. But I did want to kind of bring in a couple of videos that we got from Pensacola. You played in 2019. You spent most of the season in Pensacola and really kind of took off once you got there. So I'm going to bring in some video, and we're going to start with the defense. So bear with us here, and we'll let you kind of talk through. Here's one play.
10 runs to Pensacola's 3. The pitch. Swing, and there's a ground ball to the right side. Diving stop, Blankenhorn. He'll fire to first from his knees, and he gets Chester. What a play. Another.
All right, I wanted to talk about that one a little bit because, again, you do take pride in your defense. But I want to ask you about the shifting. It seemed like, especially in your debut, which, again, our sample size is one game so far, it seemed like if you were shifted to one place, they hit it to just a little bit out of where you were going, especially those first couple innings. Did you feel like they were almost picking on you a little bit?
I mean, like I said, they have the numbers and they know where to put me. So like wherever they tell me what shift we're in, that's where I'm gonna go. I won't question it or anything like that. So I mean, honestly, I think they were just hitting a good spot that I couldn't get to them.
Yeah. Yep. All right, we're gonna show some hitting though. I think that you'll enjoy this a little bit.
On 3 pitches his first time up. First pitch, he swings and drills one to right field. Thomas at the track looks, it is gone.
That was my first one at home, for sure.
That was pretty well struck. All right, let's go. I just want to show a couple of these just because, there were a lot. And as we're watching this, I wanted kind of your thoughts on when you moved up to Pensacola, you had 18 home runs in a hurry. What was it about, whether it was feeling more comfortable, feeling more confident? Where did the power, you've always been known as a power potential guy, but it kind of started showing. Was there something that clicked?
I think I made some swing adjustments from the year prior. I think there was a lot of, little adjustments, I would say, to make my swing a little better, keep my bat in the zone a lot longer. And, ultimately it comes down to if you want to hit those pitches over the fence, you can't miss them. Right. So I think I was better in the zone that year. So I think that was a big help.
We'll just show another one here. Gotta love the Blue Wahoos uniforms. There's a bunch of them.
4th of July.
Also, I just love that Pensacola ballpark and how it's located.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice stadium.
All right. Let's go back to here. All right. So as you look to this offseason, you've had that chance to get the debut, out of the way or enjoy it. The one thing I wanted to ask is, with this strange season, the only unfortunate thing was couldn't have fans. Your family couldn't be there. Your fiance couldn't be there. I imagine that was disappointing, but I imagine now that you've been home, has it been just great? And is the whole town just kind of excited for you?
Yeah, I definitely think I had a lot of support from Schuylkill County for sure. Definitely that night my phone was blowing up, so I definitely had a lot of support from back home. But yeah, I'm just grateful at least they got to watch it on TV. Obviously it would have been great for them to be there, but at least they got to experience it. They still got to watch it as a family, so at least they got to watch it. So that was nice.
So as you look to the off season first, have you found or have you been given areas specifically to work on this off season? Are you continuing now that you've been in the organization for essentially 5 or 6 now off seasons? Do you kind of have a good feel of how you want to prepare going into next year, knowing that the opening day roster is a legit possibility, whereas in the past, it was a nice dream, but now it's a real possibility.
I think, yeah, I've had a couple off seasons now. I think kind of have the routine of knowing what I got to do, with the weightlifting and the training side of it. And, I'm just going to continue to work on my swing, clean some things up. And, obviously defense is huge too. I actually bought like a pitching machine I bought it last year, but it's a good way to get some practice hitting and fielding. I can put that on the ground and shoot some ground balls at me too.
That's a good idea. So, I mean, we'll get to some more baseball stuff, but, there's a very important comment that just came in that I think you're going to really enjoy. One, Aaron Whitefield says, wish you didn't cut your hair. So,
Yeah.
happy
White
wife,
wasn't
happy
too happy
life,
about me
right?
cutting my hair. Yeah, that's White. That's because he's trying to grow my hair how it was.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's trying to copy the haircut.
Yeah. So, what are you? A couple weeks away from
His beard's a little
the big
bigger
day?
than mine, though.
What's that?
December 12th.
Okay, so you got a
December
few
12th,
weeks
yep.
yet. Everything pretty well organized and everyone excited, I'm sure.
Yeah, for the most part, it's all under control.
We should bring her into the conversation and ask for her thoughts on that question.
Yeah, she did a little more of the organizing than me.
Yeah, I would guess so. Let's get back to the multi-sport aspect. I always find that interesting. I know we've talked about this before, but I think basketball might be your favorite sport to watch. But also, I mean, you talked about you were quite the distance shooter back in high school. Talk a little bit briefly about your basketball days. Live your legend.
Yeah, I really liked basketball. No, it was just a fun time because we had a good group of guys, and we were best friends all through high school. Still good friends to this day, and just having that team of just close friends, I think definitely helped us go a long way. I think we were 28-1 my senior year. So I mean, I think just having that team of friends, just made it that much more fun and that much better just to go to the arena every day. So I mean, I think high school basketball was definitely a good experience for me. Like I said, just getting that experience of playing in front of 5,000-6,000 people when Mart's Hall's packed. So I mean, obviously it was fun for sure.
Unbelievable. And football, I know that you'd made the comment you didn't play your senior year. Was there well, I'll let someone else. We want to hear about your memorable football moments. But I know you didn't play your senior year, but I know you were like all state your junior and sophomore year. So
yeah, I mean, football was definitely fun. I started when I was a freshman, sophomore, and junior year. Then obviously my senior year I didn't play. And I think, I was thankful for my friends and the teammates I had because I think they kind of accepted that I didn't play my senior year, and the coaches, I think they kind of understood because there was just baseball events that like I couldn't miss if I want, because coming from Pottsville, I mean, there's not too many pro scouts just gonna come and show up at a Pottsville all the time if you don't go travel and get your name out there. So I think there was just events I couldn't miss, and unfortunately that's kind of put an end to my football career, going and traveling for baseball. So I think, are you muted or I can't hear you? I don't know which one.
nope, it's my internet today. I don't know what's going on, and I
Okay.
apologize to you and everyone
That's
who's
fine.
listening. But I don't know if you want to give your quick minute version of your football history, but I lost you right before that.
I said I played my freshman, sophomore, and junior year, obviously, and I said my senior year I didn't play. I said I was fortunate enough to have a good group of guys and coaches that understood and weren't too mad at me for quitting my senior year. They actually, I think they were pretty respected the decision, and I just said because I quit because I had to. There were some baseball things I just couldn't miss. So there was events that I had to go to, and mixing the travel baseball with the football, it just wouldn't work. So I ultimately chose go play baseball and try and get seen to get drafted.
And I mean, again, bringing it back to your debut, those types of decisions, they have to feel like at this point, and you probably really never second guessed them so much as it had to feel good to kind of look back and say, okay, it was all worth it. I hope that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, for sure. Even getting drafted even back in 2015 was honestly just an unreal moment for me. Don't never take that for granted either.
Absolutely. So now you're back home for the off season, at least for part of it. Aside from the wedding, Are there any other plans? I know there's not a lot we can do, but have you been able to do anything since being home just to get away from the game for a few months?
Yeah, relaxed, relaxed with my fiance. Obviously we got the honeymoon after the wedding, so that'll be fun. So other than that, we're just waiting for the wedding, planning that actually takes a lot of time. So, just figuring all that kind of stuff out and get ready for that.
Absolutely. All right, I'll leave you with this one then. As you do you have any goals yet as you look to your 2021 season that I don't know whether you write them down or not, or if you're happy to share them at all, or I mean, do you look at the numbers or are there other goals?
I mean, like I said, just being a good teammate, I don't know if I want to share personal goals or anything like that. Just being a good teammate, just doing what I can for the team and whatever I'm told, being able to do. And like I said, just being a good teammate, being there.
That works. All right, with that, we'll let you go. But I do want to say thank you. And if you have just a second to stick on after we're done, that'd be great. But I want to thank everyone for listening, whether you listen live, left comments, or listen later. It is available again on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for Twins Daily followers, but also will soon be on the Twins Daily podcast, which you can find wherever you download podcasts. I want to thank Travis again and remind you that there is an episode of Off Season Live tomorrow night where Nick will again talk free agents with a couple of other Twins Daily writers. So with that, thanks for listening. Leave your feedback and have yourselves a great afternoon. Go Twins.